Hello?
Hey there, Frank. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Conner?
I'm doing well. It's been a good day.
Good, good, man. You're on live, man. So we're on the If You Don't Know podcast, man. How you doing? I know you had a pretty busy week. I thank you for taking the time out to speak with us today.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. So with that week, man, how's the album coming, man? You getting a good response from it?
I am. I am. Yeah, it's been really cool. A lot of my friends have been with me even before I was doing music, and even before I was doing music, I still liked to sing. Just occasionally, I was bad at it. So they've watched me go from bad at music but loves to sing to now I'm doing this for real, but my music is just kind of cute to them. To now it's sort of the place where they're like, okay, now I see you.
Yeah.
This is cool, and that's a really cool crossover moment.
Yeah, I agree, man. Because it's always that weird stage where you're doing music and they're supporting you, but they don't necessarily believe in it like you do. So to
Right.
kind of get that aha moment from them, like now they finally get it. I bet that feels amazing. When did you actually start writing music?
I started writing music when I was around 21. Yeah, so towards the end of my college career. That's when I wrote my first handful of songs, maybe 7. And then when I started working my 9 to 5 job after I graduated college, that's when I made a goal for myself to write 40 songs in 6 months. So in that 22 to 23-year-old window, that's when I really started to hit the ground running.
Gotcha. I understand. That was in 2014.
2014, 2015, yeah.
Yeah, man, you look good for your age. I thought you was about 21 now. We hadn't conversed much on a personal level, but you look about that age currently.
Yeah, I often get that I look 19. It's
Yeah.
probably the most common question that I get asked in a day. Is how
Yeah.
old are you?
So yeah, for people who don't know,
Seriously.
I'm sorry.
And then the second question after I answer, they go, seriously?
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. I don't want to air you out too much live, but I definitely got some questions about that. You must don't drink, smoke, or anything.
Not to any big degree. So
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get to keep the youthful zest.
Moderation is key. So yeah, for people who don't know, we got Conner Cherland on the line here today with us, and we're gonna talk about his album that's titled "The Choices of John Steele," featuring the Rare Occasions. So talk about that. Who are the Rare Occasions, man? Is that the band or?
Yeah, the Rare Occasions is a band. They're an indie rock band from Rhode Island, Massachusetts.
Awesome.
And they moved out to Pasadena in the last couple of years to pursue music out west. And they showed up at one of my shows. We got along really well, and I'm just a big fan of them as a band. So I reached out and was like, "What do you guys think about doing this album with me? These are the songs that I really like and I really want to do. Would you guys be interested in backing me?" And they took a listen. They liked the songs, and they liked me as a person, so they were willing to work with me. And I was very grateful for it.
That's dope, man. So that process was you already had these songs written, and then they heard the songs and matched them to beats.
They heard the songs and they were like, "Great, so we're just going to do what we do to your songs." So they're all masters of their own instruments. So the drummer just got to do, for the most part, whatever he wanted to do. There were certain parts where I was like, I think it needs to sound like this specifically, but I'm not a drummer, and I don't know more than him when it comes to drumming. So I really let him guide wherever he thought it needed to go. And anytime it felt wonky to me, I would just let him know, can you do something different? That feels wrong.
Yeah.
And then he'd make that adjustment. So I'm a big fan of working with people who are experts in what they do, because then I can just trust them to know better than me. And,
yeah. Have you ever did that type of creative process before, where you already have the the content already laid out, and then you just reach out for people to match the music to it, or was this your first time doing that?
Yeah, so I had already written the guitar parts of those songs on my own.
Okay.
Because I play a guitar, so that's what I do. So they already had the chords to them. I already knew what key. I knew how they were sung. Had all the lyrics, and then it just came down to what was it that they wanted to bring to it. So I've worked like that before. That's typically how I work. I play a lot of gigs solo, so I work out the songs solo acoustic, so that I have a really strong bass and understand, like, this song is good if you strip it down, this song is good if you dress it up, and then I'll work with people to see what else they can bring out of it, what flavor they can bring.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'm not really into, we're big hip hop heads, over here at the, if you don't know podcast, but I love all genres of music. I'm just that way when it comes to the art of music. And then listening to this album, I wanted to ask you, like, who is your influences when it comes to the music that you like, and also, how does that correlate or convey in your music when you're creating?
A big influence in this album is Coheed and Cambria. They are a rock band that deals more that they also do concept albums, and they make it kind of on the creepier side, and I'm a huge fan of their work because they will create a world of their own design, and then because that world is different than ours, they're able to use vocabulary that's very different than ours in their songs. And I think that there's so many overused words, and it's really easy to grab someone's attention if you can say a word they don't hear very frequently. So the title track, The Choices of John Still, it in the chorus gets to use the word pheromones, which is very, very rare. in the actual hook of a song. And I think that it expands your ability to world build and tell a story. So. Gotcha.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's interesting. I know I read on, with looking you up and doing some research, I know you said that words are very important, and I'm that way too when it comes to lyrics. I think most people listen to music where they hear the beat first, they catch the tempos and whatnot and see if they feel it melodically before they actually listen to the lyrics. But I'm the complete opposite. I got to hear what you're saying first before I actually, can fall in love with the music.
Right, yeah, I'm that same way.
Yeah. So yeah, Len, let's get right to it, man. How good of a volleyball player are you?
I was really good. I'm a bit more garbage now. So I played volleyball my entire life since I was a kid. I think I served my first ball over the court, over the net, at like age 7. Yeah. And then from there, began playing on club teams when I was 10. All the way till I was 18, and by then I was still 5'9"3/4, which is still not 5'10".
Gotcha.
And that just means you have to do. It's just so hard to compete against people who are over 6 foot when you're 5'9".
Yeah.
So I was severely disadvantaged and disenchanted with the sport by the time that I got into college. So that's when I stopped practicing.
I got. So you just played in high school.
Yes. From 10 to 18. Yeah.
10. Okay. And your parents played too, correct?
Yeah. So they met on the volleyball court. My dad saw my mom and was like, "Hello," and followed her out to her car. And was like, "I'm gonna marry you." And she was like, "Okay, cool. Good luck." And then he did.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. That's a good story to be able to tell your kids, man.
It's a good lesson in the value of balls.
No pun intended.
Yeah. That's true. But I'm sure if you tell that story to a lot of guys nowadays, they'll be like, okay.
Yeah, man, that's special right there. Yo. And then what you said, you started writing music after high school, so you wrote music when you were on your way out of college.
Correct. On my way out of college.
So was it ever a thought to you before, or when did it come about? Like, when did you say, I'm gonna be serious about this thing, and just kind of sit down and start writing?
Yeah, so I became excited about it. Like I said, at the end of college, but where it started, it's hard to.
You're breaking up, Conner.
Oh, sorry. Can you still hear me? Okay, great. I started.
I'm sorry, man. You going in and out again.
Sorry. Let me see. How's that?
Good.
Okay, cool. So, at the beginning of when I turned 18, that's when I started to journal, And at that point, that's sort of where I saw myself writing all the time, saying like, "Man, I still haven't written a song today. What a bummer." But I had never written songs prior to that, so I have no idea when I wanted to start writing songs. But I was like guilting myself at a young age to start writing.
Yeah, I got you. I was gonna ask you why, why sport. You one of my favorite. You know who Drake is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, one of my favorite Drake lines, man. I'm not sure if you're gonna catch the reference, but he says, "Sports and music is so synonymous because we want to be them and they want to be us." So I was gonna ask you why you pick music over sports, but then you already told me that it was because you were disadvantaged by the height. So so I kind of got that one.
5'9", you don't really have a choice when it comes to sports.
Yeah, and then 2014, you made a goal to write these songs. I think I read somewhere where it says currently you have over 120 songs written since then.
Right.
But you're very candid about those songs, with saying that you weren't very pleased with some of them. Some of them were kind of whack to you. But how do you, as an artist, and most artists are very sensitive. So I always refer to Erykah Badu when she says, keep in mind I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. So like you as an artist, how do you kind of come to that crossroad where you're being candid with yourself, but you're also respecting the process and the thought process that it took for you to get that body of work? How do you kind of filter out what songs are good and what songs are not going to be a good fit for you?
Yeah, I think practicing not lying to yourself is really important
Mm-hmm.
to the value of your own work. There's times where, let's say you're in a conversation and you're working through a concept for the first time, and you say a phrase, and that phrase came out and it doesn't feel super true to you.
You broke up one more time. I lost you at phrase.
Okay, yeah. So like sometimes when you're in a conversation, you're trying to work out a conversation. You're trying to work out a concept, and so for the first time you'll say a phrase and it doesn't exactly ring true for you. Like you tried it out, and when you said it, you didn't agree with it. And I think that writing music is sometimes like that, where you have something inside of you that's really true, that sticks out, and you wrote the song. That was your first attempt, and that wasn't the correct phrasing, that wasn't the right chords, and you just need to try that again later, when your innards have sort of molded over longer.
Gotcha. So I understand. So you said you're creating, and you kind of think of the first thing that comes to your head, but after you sit with it for a while, you're like, this isn't what I want to convey. This isn't the message I want. This isn't what I want people to hear when they hear this.
Right. And if you play it for someone and they don't care about it, that's a good sign that it might not be good.
Exactly, because you didn't believe it yourself. So why would they? Right.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of that, man, let's talk music. So I listened to the album. I like the album. I listened to it over and over. 6 songs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I listened to it a couple times over and over, man. Just trying to, not trying, but getting in the mood for it. Like I said, mostly, what we do here is hip hop. But once I, listened to it the first time, and then it built some familiarity to me the second time, and then I go through it again, and then I pick to my 3 favorite songs and just listen to those over and over again. That's on there, and I really see exactly what you're doing and where you're coming from. So that just kind of goes to show, I guess, the passion and the truth that you put into it, which is the kind of music I like anyway. I love mood music and things that can kind of let you know what that person was feeling when they made it. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, let me ask, who is Emily?
Emily is.
You broke up again.
Daughter. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah, Emily is the main character's daughter. So the album is called The Choices of John Still. And Emily is his daughter. So you get to watch her send a letter to her lover, and then in the song Emmy Lynn, you are reading his letter back to her.
Oh man, okay, wait. Don't move too far ahead because I want to talk to you about Emmy Lynn. That's actually one of my one. Oh yeah, I actually like that song a whole lot, and I'm gonna tell you why I like it. But yeah, I really do like that song. So yeah.
What were your three favorites?
The three favorites is gonna be Letter to Emily. No, yeah, that's it, right? That's what it's called. I should have wrote this down.
Yeah, Letters from Emily.
Letters from Emily. I'm sorry. And then the second one is Scream Louder.
Cool.
And then and they all come right after each other. And then the third one is Emmy Lynn.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, I like all three of those. I love them.
Good.
But yeah, and then I knew it was a story concept to it. But I haven't. I don't digest music like this current generation. Once something's out, 24 hours or less than 24 hours, something new is out, and everybody's self-proclaimed classics. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I kind of like the old days where you didn't have a choice. Before the internet, where you didn't have a choice but to sit with an album as long as the radio station decided to play it for you. So with this here, I didn't really get a chance to digest it like I would like to, but I definitely got the gist of it, and I really do like it. So the Letter to Emily is, break that down for me one more time before we transition into the other song.
Yeah, so Emily is the daughter of the main character, John Still.
Uh-huh.
And she is writing a letter to her ex-lover, basically explaining her current state and that she's letting him go.
Gotcha. And I guess that would explain why you're saying in there, no longer mine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I like it, man. I love it. And I'm going to go back and listen to it a second time, like after speaking with you, and I'm going to get a totally different perspective of it. I can't wait. We should have a follow-up interview on it. It's going to be awesome. So after that, which is my personal favorite here, number 2 that I got on here, Scream Louder, on there. And it kind of has this, certain bounce to it. It's a little bit, upbeat and everything there. So explain your thought process with that and the idea of that song, and actually the placement of it with it being after Letters from Emily.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, you broke up again.
So sorry. How's that?
Good.
Good. Okay, so yeah, Letters from Emily, she's letting that guy go. And in Scream Louder, the first line is, "You found him drunk and lying in the back of a car." So she, you're kind of seeing the aftermath at the end of their relationship after she's already let him go. And there's a tendency for some guys when they get out of relationships to go a little bit buck wild and a little bit over the top.
Yes.
And that song deals with that guy going a little bit too buck wild, and then her response needing to be justified and feel sad, but also don't get too crazy, because you don't want to go overboard with your sadness as well. So,
yeah, definitely.
So that's mostly what that song is about, the aftermath of that relationship.
Yeah, kind of like, no low too low, no high too high, just kind of.
Yes, both of them going too far in opposite directions.
Understood. Yeah, I always thought that that whole, I guess, that whole thing there is just pretty. It's amazing how if you're caged in a relationship, and I'm using this as an analogy. You're caged in a relationship, and then you get out the relationship, you go buck wild, and then you start to kind of realize that that's not what you want, but it looks so appealing being that you can't have it. The grass always looks greener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you realize you never really wanted that in the first place, so then you really calm down.
Exactly. And even if you go back and think a little deeper about it, how parents, they have the best intentions for their children, and you shelter your child their whole life, and then once that child gets into college or goes off on his own, the first thing he does is go buck wild, and then you start to realize after a couple unwanted pregnancies and STDs, that this life just wasn't for you to begin with.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to go that far to learn that, but
exactly.
I completely understand. One of the things I would run across a lot of new parents who were bringing their kids to UCSB, the college here, and they would ask me, they were like, why should my kid come to this school? And I was like, because this school actually lets your kid do what they want to do. There's going to be no guilt if they go crazy. And so you're actually going to get to meet your kid for the first time to see what it is they're really into.
Exactly. A lot of parents out there, I bet, didn't know, little Johnny was a monster. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, but all right. So after Scream Louder, man, you got Emmy Lynn. All right.
Yeah.
And I think I like this song as well. A little more in depth, because one of the quotes that you have in it, like I said, words is very important to me too, and I love the poetic justice of this line here, where I think you say, I know the feeling of a love that's gone away, like my body found a home away from you. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, break that down for me, man. Kind of talk about where that fits in with the album. I know you said the first one was a letter, and then she's reacting to it, and kind of break this whole song down, especially with that line, as far as what you were trying to portray with that.
Yeah, well, I think the big question that the album is addressing in really different ways is, what do you do when you love someone you can't have?
Okay.
And in Emmy Lynn, the statement, I know the feeling of a love that's gone away. Like, when you've been in a relationship and you have your heyday, and it's like, oh my gosh, this relationship is awesome. That's like around month 2. And then like around month 4, you're like, oh man, we're actually not as happy as we were. I actually don't think we have much in common. This is probably doomed. So that normally happens in like month 4 or month 7 or month 13. For lots of people. So that's kind of what I was trying to get at, is when you realize that this actually isn't going somewhere, and you do need to find a place. Like the line following is, glad my body found a home away from you. Because if you marry somebody that you're actually not into, then you haven't really found a home.
Yeah.
So that's what's really important, is like you do need to break those things off at their proper point, so that you can find the place that you actually belong.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand completely, and I get that. I have a rule of thumb, Conner. I don't. If I'm dating someone, I don't necessarily save their number in my phone until the warm and fuzzies have went away, and I think that's the point that you're talking about, around month 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I respect that.
Huh?
I respect that.
Yeah, right. You got to protect yourself, man. When I love hard. I'm a Scorpio, so.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't. I get exactly what you're saying, though. When those warm and fuzzy goes away, it's like, am I really down for this person? Is me and this person really in sync together? Are we compatible? You know what I mean? And if you guys aren't, if you were just, with somebody for surface level reasons, you guys aren't going to survive the bad times. So I absolutely get it, where you're coming from. But I like the vibe of that song, man. For some reason, in writing this down and thinking about it, I didn't think you would probably catch this reference, because I thought you were 12. But but I got a feeling you're going to understand where I'm coming from. But for some reason, that song feels to me like Hootie and the Blowfish, I Only Want to Be With You, in 1994. Are you familiar with that?
Wow, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not talking about as far as content, but as far as the vibe and how it feels. Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought of immediately.
Podcast, you are killing it with those references.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And you know what, Conner? You probably wouldn't know, because I'm doing so well. You're actually the first interview I've ever had, and ever. So we're kind of winging this thing here, and I appreciate your patience. I know this isn't your first rodeo, so.
No, but this is. Yeah, I mean, you're one of the better conversationalists, so you're doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That means you're going to come back the next album, right?
Yeah, man.
No matter if you get discovered by Justin Timberlake and he signs you or anything, you're still gonna come back, right?
Yeah, man.
Alright, good. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate you for stopping by. That's our time today. Unless you got anything else you want to share. But before you go, I want you to please tell the listeners and the people who will hear this, where they can find the album and listen to it, where they can find you on social media, and any place that they can easily access you and your art.
Yeah, they can find me anywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, Facebook. It's all under the same name, Conner, Conner, Cherland. Share like the same. So if you can spell my last name.
Say that one more time. You faded out.
Oh.
And then you just went completely blank.
Can you?
Now it's kind of choppy.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So my last name is Share like the singer, Land like the ground.
Okay. Conner Cherland.
Yes.
Cherland.
If you can find my last name, you can find me pretty much anywhere.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate it, Conner, man. Thank you so much for calling in. We'll be in touch definitely after this, and congratulations on the album. Congrats on your success. I look forward to hearing from you in the future, especially when you make it to the next level, man. And thanks for calling in to the If You Don't Know podcast. And if you don't know, now you know. Take it easy, Conner, man. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.